Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of my makeup declutter. Is currently 5:06 a.m. Still cannot fall asleep. So I'm starting to get tired, so maybe I'll get through part 2 and then I can finally go to sleep. I just got done doing my primers, foundations, and concealers. I will link that video down below for you guys to go check out. Now we're going to get into part 2 of wherever we end up stopping. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Lainey and welcome to my channel. And let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so now we're going to get into powders. Okay, so first up I'm going to start off with my pressed powders. These are what I use to set my under eyes with. My favorite pressed powder of all time is the Essence All About Matte Compact Powder. This is the one that is like I've hit pan on, and I have 2 fresh new ones. So, oh, this was broken. Oh well. But this is amazing. It's $4 at Ulta Beauty. I definitely recommend getting these. Also, I have another one that I ran out of that I will be repurchasing. It's the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana setting. It's supposed to be a bronzer, but it's light enough to use as an under eye setting powder for me. I freaking love that powder. I will be keeping that one eventually whenever I get it back. Okay, but continuing this, I have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless pressed powder in the shade Translucent. I actually just got this and I've been loving it, so I will be keeping it. And then next up I have the Makeup Revolution Bake and Blot pressed powder in the shade Translucent. I've never tried this, but I want to try it because I just want to try new things. So, alright, so now we're going to get into my loose powders. Alright, first up I have the Hard Candy Translucent Sheer Indie Loose Powder. I actually have not even used this yet. It still has the tape on it, so I will be keeping it so I can try it. And then this one I actually got in a subscription box. If you guys have not seen that video, I will link it down below. It will be up before the part 1 video of this declutter, so y'all can go check it out. But this is the Belle Pierre Cosmetics HD Finishing Powder in Translucent. So I want to try this. You guys know I'm picky about my powders just because of how it makes my skin feel, but we will have to see how this powder does on my skin. Another one of my favorite powders that I actually have to toss because it's basically empty, yeah, sort of, kind of, is the Rimmel Stay Matte Mattifying Loose Powder. I have to find this brand because my Walmart does not sell Rimmel London anymore, and I'm very upset about it. So I'm gonna have to go and find this powder, but I'm gonna go ahead and toss this because literally there's nothing left in there, and I've tried using it and getting the rest out. It doesn't come out, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss it, but I will be repurchasing it because this is my favorite. One powder that I can get rid of, I've had this for so long and I do not use it because of the scent, and if I use too much it makes my skin feel weird, is the Coty Airspun Granny Smell. But I have it in the shade in Translucent Extra Coverage. It's a nice powder. It's a really good powder. I would say if you have more oily skin than me, this would work better for you. But I don't have a lot of oils. The only oils that come out is like over on here in my nose. But other than that, I don't have oily skin at all. So this just dries my skin out. So I'm going to go ahead and just declutter it. And then the rest of these I'm keeping. So I have the CoverGirl True Blend Minerals Loose Mineral Powder. I bought this because of Kelly Strack, because she uses this under her under eyes as well, and I love it for that. Then I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. I'm actually still in the process of trying this out. I've used it a couple times, but I haven't really noticed anything. But I'm giving it a couple more tries, and if it doesn't start to wow me, I'm just going to get rid of it. One of the 2 powders from e.l.f. that I have is, I have the Halo Glow, and this one is in the shade Light Pink. I couldn't find translucent, so I just went ahead and got Light Pink, and it actually works pretty good for me, so I'm not complaining. I really love this. It's supposed to not make your skin mattifying, but give it like a satin finish, and I kind of see that. It's not like a loomy powder. It's not going to put glowy on your skin, but it's not like going to make you overly matte either. Kind of like in the middle. I really enjoy this. And then one from e.l.f. that I have not tried yet because I can't get the sticker off is the HD powder. I've heard so many good things about this powder and I've never tried it. So I got it the other day and I really need to try it. Alright, and then I have 2 more powders. One of them I do not have and the other one is in my hand but is from the same brand. So I have the I Heart Revolution Scented Baking Powder in the shade Peach. I also have Coconut. Both of them I will be keeping. I'm going to go ahead and toss the Essence powder that I've hit pan on. So in total I had 14 powders. I'm sorry, 16 with those 2 that I included. And I got rid of 3. Alright, now we're getting into my bronzer and contour drawer. Okay, I'm just picking stuff up as I go. So I have a contour stick from Wet n Wild. This is the dual-ended contour stick. Y'all already know. If you guys have watched me for a long time, you guys know this is my favorite. I will be keeping it. Also, another one of my babies, if you guys have watched me for a long time, the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. Love this bronzer so much. It has a nice sheen to it, adds a nice glow to the skin. I will be keeping it. Next up, I have the NARS Matte Bronzer in the shade Velarta, and it's a very pretty bronzer. I absolutely love it. Another one I'll be keeping, oh yeah, I kept the NARS blush, if I did not say. I have the Hula bronzer from Benefit. I will be keeping this. It's a beautiful bronzer. Alright, I have a couple contour palettes, so I'm just going to go through them and kind of decide which one I'm going to get rid of. So first up, I have the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. I know it's KVD Vegan Beauty now. It's not Kat Von D, but I've always wanted this product. I've had it for a little while. I've tried it a couple times. But yeah, there's contour palette number 1. I'm going to decide which one I'm going to keep at the end. Or which ones I'm going to keep. Next up from Essence, I have the Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder in the shade 02 Sunny. I love this bronzer. I will be keeping. Oh, I'm not doing a very good job at all. And then I have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade Fair. I really love this. I think I might use this as an under eye setting powder. I don't know. It's too light for a bronzer. But I do contour my nose with it, so I may just keep it for that reason. Plus that bronzer was expensive, so I may just keep it for that. Next up I have the Marc Jacobs. This is the Omega Bronzer in the shade Tantric. This one is also a light bronzer, but I do really love it, so I will be keeping it. Did you guys hear that Marc Jacobs might be closing? If Marc Jacobs closes, oh my god, I will have a heart attack. Next up I have the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess bronzer, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I don't really pull for it very often. The shade is a little dark for me. It's in the shade, well, I just told you, 01 Light. It's light, but it just looks too dark for me. Like, even on camera, it looks too dark. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. Next, I have the Ace Beauté Bronze in Paradise palette. I know I'm going to be keeping this one. So I'm not considering this as like one of the face palettes that I'm considering. But I love this palette so much. Next up, another one that I'm keeping from Essence. This is the Sun Club Luminous Bronzing Powder in the shade 20 Sunkissed in California. I love this. This is kind of like my Ticket to Brazil, but with less shimmer. And then from Physicians Formula, I have the All Star Face palette, and I have not used this very much. I don't know. It has all the options in here. You have the matte bronzer, the butter bronzer, a highlighter, another highlighter, a blush, and a pressed powder. And I don't know. Okay, I also have the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I also have the matte version, which I will be keeping both of them. I just don't have the matte version on me. I keep that at my boyfriend's house too. Alright, next up, another product that I know I'm keeping. This is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette. I freaking love this. It's so, so beautiful. And then I have the Benefit Cheek Stars Reunion Tour. And it has all the varieties of blush, bronzer, highlighter. It even has a brush in it. I know I'm keeping this one. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I'm doing a very, very bad job with bronzers right now. Okay. I really got to think about it. Okay. All Star. I don't want to do this. Kat Von D. Let me get rid of Kat Von D. Why was that so hard? So I had 17 bronzer and contour products, and I got rid of 2. Alright, now we're getting into blush. Alright, so first up, I have the Anastasia. This is the Blush Trio in Cocktail Party. This is very, very pretty. I love this so much. I will be keeping this one. Next up, I have the ColourPop Love Story Pressed Powder Blush. And this is it right here. I think I'm going to keep it. No, I'm going to get rid of it. Next up, I have the KVD Vegan Beauty Foxglove or Everlasting Blush in the shade Foxglove. I love this. I will be keeping it. I have the Mini of the Tarte Amazonian. I always say this wrong. Amazonian. I don't know. Clay 12-hour blush in the shade Party. And I love this blush. I will be keeping it. Next up, I have a cream blush from Lila B. Lila B is expensive. But I like this product a lot. I usually don't use cream products a lot. But I like to use this on my cheeks. Keeping the Lila B one. Next up, I have the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Cheeky. I will be keeping this. Alright, next up, I have another product from e.l.f. This is the Blush Palette. I'm thinking about it. I was so intrigued by this, and I've barely even used it, so I think it's time to declutter. Next up, I have the Kylie Cosmetics Blush in the shade Close to Perfect. This one I've been contemplating for a while. I think I'm going to get rid of it. Finally getting rid of it. Next, I have the Milani Rose Powder Blush in the shade Wild Rose. I will be keeping it. I also have an Ophir blush in the shade Bellini. I will be keeping this one too. This is like one of my favorites. Alright, I also have the Ace Beauté Blush in Paradise palette. I love this. I will be keeping it. I have the Real Her Ultimate Glow Getter Cheek Trio. I don't use this enough. It's a beautiful palette, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. And last but not least, I have the Cheek Parade Blush Kit from Benefit, and this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful palette. I love it. So I had 13 blushes, and I'm getting rid of 4. Okay guys, I'm starting to get tired. So we're going to do one more section, and that's going to be highlighters, and that will be it for part 2. Okay, I want to go ahead and point out that I have a mini version of the Becca Champagne Pop that I don't have on me, but I will be keeping that, so you guys may see that in the future. Alright guys, so first up I have the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade Be My Highlight. This is my favorite. If you guys have been watching me for a little bit, I have been ranting and raving about this. If you guys like a more subtle highlighter, not one that's like wow beaming, but you can build it up that way if you wanted it, this is the one for you, and it's very, very affordable. Alright, next up, one that I think I can get rid of. I've never had one of these, so it's kind of like I want to have it just because I've never had one before, but I have the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Extreme Frost Choking on Ice highlighter. It has a green to purple shift to it, and I just think it's so pretty, but I'm never going to use it. It's got that green and purple shift to it, and I just don't go for that. So I am going to go ahead and declutter it. She being cutthroat. Next up, I had these two loose mini highlighters from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have Snowflake, which is the more white, and then I have the So Hollywood, which is more gold. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter Snowflake because I don't reach for this as much, but I am keeping So Hollywood. Next up, I have the I Heart Revolution. This is the donut highlighter in vanilla frosting. I've had this for so long. It's time for her to leave. Don't get me wrong, I love that highlighter. It's just, I want to try new things. Next up, I have the Catrice Cosmetics Sungasm Face and Body Highlighter. This is a really, really nice highlighter. Very, very big. It will last you a very long time. It's like half my head. It will last you a very long time. This one I am going to put in the maybe pile though, because it's just so big and it takes up a lot of room. But this highlighter right here reminds me a lot of the ColourPop Flexitarian. Alright, next up I have a loose highlighter from Becca, and this is in the shade Champagne Pop. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I've never used it, and I don't want it to go to waste, and I'm sure somebody that loves Becca would love this more than I do. Alright, next up from Wet n Wild, I had the All Have a Cosmo highlighter, and I actually just got this, so I am going to be keeping it, but it's a very, very pretty highlighter. I didn't know what it was at first, but I used it, and it's a really, really pretty highlighter. If it's not a highlighter, well, I'm using it as a highlighter. Next up, I have a palette from Trend Beauty. I don't know if that's Trend Mood or what, but this is their Unicorn Dust highlighter palette. This is a beautiful highlighter palette. I like the inside of it, but I don't reach for it, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. I guess I'm kind of hitting the palettes now because I'm reaching for the palette side. But next up, you guys can see it's still in the box. This is the Creme Shop highlighter palette. I'm going to try and take it out and show you guys why I'm going to be decluttering it. I got this from somewhere. I think it was BoxyCharm. They sent me the wrong order, but I'm not even going to mess with it. But here it is, the Creme Shop. That's what it is. This is the Halo Lovely Omega palette. But I'm never going to use that on my face. I mean, not to be rude or anything, but if you use this on your face, good for you. It's just not for me, so I'm passing it along. Alright, next up I have the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in the shade Golden Flower Crown. I actually really like this, so I will be keeping. Next up I have the ColourPop. This is the Super Shock highlighter in the shade Coastin'. This is from their Call Me Baby Got Peach palette, I think. Or no, Coast to Coral one. But this is it right here. I absolutely love this, so I will be keeping this one as well. Alright, next up I have the Huda Beauty. This is the 3D highlighter palette. This is the melted cream and powder palette. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to keep it. It smells like mint. But I'm going to keep it and see how it does because I've never actually tested it out yet. Alright, next up I had the e.l.f. Glow Gleam Beam highlighter palette. And I'll show you guys. This is the inside. Very, very pretty. I will be keeping it. And also another one that I will be keeping. I've been hesitating on getting rid of this, and I'm still not going to. This is the Mega Revolution Soap X highlighter palette. And it's just really, really beautiful. I love all the options in it. So I will be keeping it. And since I'm getting rid of kind of a bunch of highlighters over here, I just want to keep as many as I think I will use. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one too. So in total I had 15 highlighters and I'm getting rid of 7. Alright guys, so that is it for part 2 of today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I'm about to crash. So I will be continuing these this declutter, I'll just be more awake. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 3, and I'll see you guys in the next one.